Hi there. I'm just going to do another podcast here, and I'm going to do it. I was asked to do it actually in this week by a professional jockey, and we were talking about optimum performance and optimum performance psychology, and I've got some thoughts on that, and I'm going to do a little, probably an audio book on that because it's quite a complex, interesting subject for me. But I just wanted to do a podcast actually for this jockey, just to give a few pointers as to the direction to go before, because the whole process would be like a course that you could do in this, because there are certain precursor states. But I'm just going to do this as a little bit of an introduction. What I'm calling this is stillness in action. What I'm interested in is this quality, which everyone's always interested in, I think, in when you're looking at optimum performance, that quality that a cheetah has, where they are running at 95 miles an hour and it's like they're still. Or I remember seeing a video of Nuria, the ballerina, dancing, and he was moving, but he had this incredible stillness about him. So when you see the very top performers, I think, of any sport, when they're actually totally on game, when they're absolutely at their best, it becomes effortless, absolutely effortless. And for me, there is a quality of stillness about their performance. I remember feeling it in different situations. Like I remember being at Charlie Hayden, who's a jazz, God rest his soul. He played the double bass, but he ran jazz ensembles, fantastic jazz musician. Seeing him at Cork Jazz Festival a few years ago, and I was with a friend, and we sat and watched it, and the whole room who were there watched it, heard this performance, and when they were playing at the height of it, there was this incredible stillness came over the room. Anyway, they finished, and the audience didn't move. They just sat there, amazed. It was beautiful. And, my friend and I were meant to be going to some other gig. We didn't. We just went and sat and discussed it for the rest of the evening because it was too good. We didn't want to kind of, change that. Anyway, I just got sidetracked a little bit there. But when you have, as a performance sports person or musician or dancer, when you're absolutely at the top of the form, it becomes like stillness in action. Now, the question that I have about that is, can you bring that state more to the fore? I mean, obviously you can't every time, but can you optimize your chances of entering that state of what I would call dynamic stillness? I think you can. And I'm writing a book called The Dynamics of Stillness. But for that process, there's a whole degree of underlying practices you have to do to get to that point. And that's why it takes quite a lot of time to learn it. But I'm just going to quickly talk about a couple of things that are important in relationship to optimum sporting, and a couple of pointers, certainly for my jockey friend now. So the first thing is, I feel that when we have, I was talking to her about this, when we have that perfect race, when you run, you're at the best of your form, you're tuned in, you and the horse become one, and the race is perfect. There is a tissue memory, a memory in your psyche and in your body, your physiology, like a wiring, a cellular almost memory of what it felt like, a felt sense. I like to use the word felt sense, which I'll talk about more in other podcasts. A felt sense of how it feels when you are in that perfect state. So part of my discussion on setting yourself up for a performance is doing that, is reminding your memory, bringing that felt sense memory, that feeling memory of what it felt like when you were in absolute optimum performance, when you were actioning from stillness. Now, the problem is life comes in the middle of everything, and we're distracted, we're not feeling right, our body feels a bit whatever, we're a bit sad, we're a bit whatever, everything, life gets in the way. So we can't be at this kind of optimal state where all the conditions, the wind is in the right direction, the astrology is correct, our body is optimal, we've eaten perfectly, we've detoxed, we've just had a treatment or whatever, we're on it. And the horse and I are perfect together. But what we need to do is try and get to a state where we come to this tissue memory of winning or of being in our optimum place. And people use many different forms of connecting to that. Certain sports people I know will play a certain song which makes them feel strong and maybe all-powerful and undefeatable, say. It has that tissue memory for them, that song, or remembering that experience that can have that tissue memory. I'm interested in really homing down this felt sense. But the first thing we have to do is to allow our mind to come to a sense of neutral. We have to be neutral, meaning our brain has to be out of gear. Our brains, we normally run around with our brains doing a million things, distracted by all of our sensory inputs that are hitting us at all the times, all our thoughts, all our feelings, and all our emotions, and also actually our beliefs that are affecting us every second, every choice we make, every movement we take. So we need to come back to ourselves a little bit, and there is a process of finding neutral that we can do, and this takes a little while to get to, but I'm just going to give you a little clue into it. The first thing that we need to do is basically sit quietly for a few minutes, allow ourselves a little time to come to quietness, and then we'll do two things. The first thing is just bring your awareness and your attention to the softness in your breath, something that feels soft and delicate in your breathing. Now, the first reaction to this normally is our mind goes crazy. Allow that. Actually, the first thing we do is accept that our mind will do this. Our mind will go forwards, backwards, up and down and round the place as soon as we bring our awareness to this softness in the breath. So the first thing we do is we practice allowing this. I allow my brain to do whatever it's doing, it's fine. And with that allowing, we change the fulcrum in it. Okay, we accept that it's happening, we allow it to happen, and then what we do is bring our awareness to observing it happening. So we're changing that dynamic all the while allowing, we bring ourselves back to the soft delicateness in our breath. Now we do this a few minutes and your chest can get a little warm, things can get a little quiet in there. You can start feeling a little bit more relaxed. Sometimes it takes a little longer depending on our level of stressness. Now, I want us to change our awareness and to be aware of this quality that's in and around us all the time. This quality is that of stillness. We are held in stillness. Behind all of the noise, behind everything that's happening, there is stillness, like this quiet hum of the universe. It's stillness. And all action and all of life comes from stillness, from the unmanifest to the manifest. So if we go back to this point of stillness, and it's very important with Optimum Sports to connect with this stillness, because then we have the pure action. We can act purely and cleanly and precisely like an ultimate swordsperson, from stillness. It's beautiful. So we have a degree of neutral. We're tuning into the quietness of our breathing, and we're feeling the stillness that's in and around us. From here, just bring your awareness back to that perfect moment, that perfect race, that perfect whatever it was, and feel it. Picture yourself there doing it. How does your body feel? What is the feeling sense in your body? Remember that, register it, and allow that to repattern your brain. There. From that place, from that stillness and that tissue memory, then we can act. Okay, that's an introduction of something that'll probably be about a 3-day course, but we've done it in 5 minutes. Let's see if that will help. We'll come back to this. Okay. Best wishes.